For the no prep edition of the $10,000 Drag Shootout, we have Ron with Victor Reinz. They're providing all of the gaskets for the Turbo LS power plants that each of the teams are running. These are really key components in keeping the engine sealed and together, especially under high cylinder pressures. Ron, talk to me about your gaskets.
Right, we're providing gaskets for the complete engine. The LS is such a great motor, not only from the standpoint that it makes a lot of power, but also the sealing components. For people that have sealing for a living or do sealing for a living, it's really exciting for us because it features so many different product technology. Up on top, we've got a multi-layered steel head gasket, and I'll get into a little bit more detail on that. But if you look at the rest of the sealing package, you've got edge molded metal plate, timing cover gaskets, retainer gaskets, oil pan gasket. You have a PTFE rear main bearing seal, which is like the latest and greatest material used for rear main bearing seals. Once you install it correctly, it'll last a lifetime. It's a great technology. But when we get back to the head gasket a little bit, so any of the head gaskets that we're going to be using here and talking about today are multi-layered steel. And there's an acronym for multi-layered steel, and that's MLS. And the whole idea behind MLS head gasket technology is that, as a cylinder makes power, it wants to push the head up off the deck of the block, and that's called head lift. And it can be significant, especially when you start adding more and more power like you folks are doing. So the head gasket really plays a critical role in keeping that compression where it's supposed to be in the cylinder and the combustion chamber versus leaking out to the sides. If you think of an MLS head gasket as essentially a spring, you have the series of emboss beads that run around the combustion opening. And those emboss beads are partially compressed when everything is in a static state. When you start making power and that head is lifting up off the deck, that gasket has enough what we call recovery to maintain the contact pressure to seal between the head and the block.
I couldn't agree with you more. Having an entire gasket package, especially on these LS engines, the rear and the front cover, that's so important to have that metal inside the gasket. And the MLS, you nailed it right on the head. Absolutely perfect for what these engine combinations with the turbochargers and the high cylinder pressures are going to see. It's a perfect partnership between the gaskets, cylinder heads, and the block for sure, as well as all of the other gaskets you're providing. So these teams definitely have it made in the shade in that department. And now that we talked about the gaskets from Victor Reinz, I want to talk about the U-joints from Spicer.
So, while you guys and Ron's helping you out with gaskets to make all this power, which is really torque, right? These poor U-joints have to transmit all that torque down to those tires to hook up with the track and get that car down to the finish line. So thankfully, Clarence Spicer, invented the U-joint, which we're using today. And it's gone through a lot of iteration and a lot of technology changes. And what we've provided the teams is called the SPL Series, which is Spicer Live Series of U-joints. And it's made with techniques in manufacturing that's proprietary to Dana, kind of our secret sauce, or the Coca-Cola formula, so that the cross itself is manufactured in a way that gives you the maximum strength, right? So when all that torque has to transmit through that little U-joint to those big tires in the rear to hook up, it's going to withstand that, and it's not going to break, and you're going to get down the track and hopefully win the race. The needle bearings that are in there, the precision of the tolerance between the needle bearings, even down to the lubrication that's inside the cups, right? Those things are hardened specifically. There's a special thrust washer in there to help move that fluid around those needle bearings, keep the temperature down, help distribute that torque. All this technology is included in this little bitty thing that you don't think is important, but it really is, because at the end of the day, no matter how much power you make, if you can't get it to the wheels and get down the track, you're sitting there, being a zero. So the other thing we've added to the SPL series is a coating. So we have a blue coating on these joints. What that does is that prohibits the rust forming on the outside of the joint. That rust is very caustic. We know rust is a bad thing. It's going to get in there. It's going to eat these seals. All this technology we put into the seals, that rust is going to eat through it, and we want to eliminate that. So now that the latest version of the SPL is actually a coated joint, it's blue. That's how you know. And those are the best joints on the market right now.
That's awesome. I had no idea about the coating, because a lot of times you'll see just raw cast iron U-joints and they're rusted, and you definitely don't want that anywhere on your car, let alone on, like you said, this tiny little U-joint, which, relative to the car, it's quite small, but it's one of the key components in transferring all the power from the engine all the way back to the rear tires. And I really appreciate you guys, Ron and Randall, coming on, talking with me, talking with me about the gaskets, talking through all the different things and the technology you guys have put into all these different parts. Really appreciate you guys partnering with these teams, because they're definitely going to need a nicely sealed engine that's not going to have any problems, and they definitely need the drivetrain components like these U-joints to keep everything together on the racetrack. So once again, thank you guys for coming on with me and helping out these teams. We really appreciate it.